dear students of secondary 1. Today, inshallah, we will have our poem for this term, which is, as you can see, on his blindness by John Milton. It's a sonnet written by John Milton, and of course now you know the meaning of the word sonnet from the first term. It's a poem of 14 lines dealing with one idea or one emotion, and in this case, it's sadness. Okay? Because John Milton became sad, or he felt sad, when he lost his sight. Okay? He became blind at a very early age, and this shocked a talented writer like him. To him, I'm talented, I'm gifted, and why does this happen to me? Okay, so he expresses this in this sonnet, and we will see this now. But first, let's know some information about the poet, who is John Milton. He was born in London in a rich religious family, and this is important to know about John Milton, that he was religious. Okay? His family brought him up for a post in a church, and he wished to be a priest, but he gave up the idea due to the sins committed in the church. This is important about John Milton. He wished to be a priest. He desired to serve God. Milton began to write poetry when he was a student in university, and his masterpieces were Paradise Lost and Paradise Regained. So the most important thing to know about John Milton, that he was brought up in a religious family. He wanted to be a priest and serve God. Okay? There is a question that might come. What is the theme of the poem, or what's the main idea of the poem? The poet laments his loss of sight when he is still young. Laments means he expresses his sadness, he expresses his sorrow. Why does this happen to me? Okay? Another question might be, the poem is an autobiography. Clarify or explain. It's an autobiography because the poet writes about his own experience. Okay? He was totally blind. This was difficult for a gifted man like him, as we said. So he was left sad. In this poem or in this sonnet, he expresses his sadness. He is asking God why he was given such bad luck, why he was so talented writer. So he's talking about his own experience, and that's why it's an autobiography. Okay. The sonnet, or the Italian sonnet, as we know from the first term, consists of two parts, the octet and sestet. And of course, you can remember that Shakespeare changed this into 3 quatrains and her couplets. So the question is, what form did John Milton use in writing his sonnet? Unlike Shakespeare, Milton followed the Italian sonnet. So he divided his poem into an octet and a sestet. The octet, as you can remember, consists of 8 lines, and in Milton's sonnet it has the question or the problem, the loss of his sight. Why does this happen to me? And Milton speaks about himself in this part. But in the sestet, which consists of 6 lines, he has the answer to the question. Okay? And he speaks to God, not himself. Why is the sestet more important than the octet? As we could understand from the first part, the sestet is more important because in this part, Milton gives the solution, or in other words, he accepts God's will too. Okay? It shows also the poet's religious belief. So in the sestet, we have 2 things which makes it important, or more important than the octet. In the octet he had a question, but in the sestet he has the answer to the question. In the octet he is sad because he became blind, but in the sestet he accepts God's will. So it's more important, as you can see. Now let's see the first part of the poem, the octet. That's the octet. Let's read it together. When I consider how my life is spent, half my days in this dark world and wide, and that one talent which is death to hide, lodged with me, useless, though my soul more bent, to serve there with my Maker and present. My true account least he returning shade. Doth God exact day labor? Light denied, I fondly ask, but patience to prevent. These are the ideas that we will use to paraphrase this part or the octet. Okay? The poet, of course, I'm giving you some ideas, and when you paraphrase the octet or this part, you're going to express them as a paragraph, okay? Not ideas like that. The poet thinks how he lost his sight while he was so young. This is the first idea. Okay, as you can see, the first question was, when I consider how my life is spent. So the poet thinks how he lost his sight while he was young. The second idea, he was sad for living in the dark world. He preferred death to living without his sight. This is very important. He preferred death to living without his sight. He had eyes, okay, but they were useless. He couldn't see with them, so they were useless. What should I do with these eyes while they are useless? He said that he could not serve his God as he was blind. He wanted to work hard to please God. He asked God how he expected him to serve him, and he prays while he is blind. And the last idea, patience, will give the answer to his question in the second part, which is this system. Let's see again the ideas which you will express as the paraphrasing of this part. First idea, that the poet expresses his sadness for losing his sight. Okay, he was so sad for living in this large world without his sight. He preferred death to living without his sight. Okay, he said that I have eyes, but they are useless. He had eyes, but they were useless. He couldn't use them. He said that he could not serve God as he was blind, and he wanted to work hard to please his God. And he asks God, how do you expect me to serve you and pray well while I don't have my sight? And he asks patience, which will give him the answer in the next part. Okay? Let's see the rhyme scheme of this part. It's very easy, and as an Italian sonnet, it's A-B-B-A, A-B-B-A. That's the rhyme scheme of the octet. Let's say it again. A-B-B-A, A-B-B-A. That's the rhyme scheme. Okay, let's come to the figures of speech. The first part, when he says, when I consider how my life is spent, it's a metaphor. Because he pictures his sight as light. So there is a metaphor in when I consider how my life is spent, because the poet pictures his his sight as light. There is also a personification in the last line when he said, I fondly ask but patience to prevent. He asks patience. Is patience a man? No, so he personified patience as a man who speaks to him. Okay, so there is a personification in I fondly ask but patience to prevent. He personifies patience as a man who could speak. Okay, you can also add some alliterations, which you can see a lot in this sonnet. There is an alliteration in word, white, okay, me, my, more, days, dark, labor, light. A lot of words in the same lines which you can consider having alliteration. Okay, so that's the first part, which is the octave. Let's see the system, or the last part of the song. Okay, that's the last part, or the system. That murmurs, soon replies. Who replies? That's patience. God doth not need either man's work or his own gifts, who best bear his mild yoke. They serve him best, his state is kingly, thousands at his bidding speed, and pose over land and ocean without rest. They also serve who only stand and wait. Okay, so in the system, all these words come from patience, who he asked in the first part. Okay, what does patience say? Patience says to him that God does not need his serve prayers or work. This is important. God doesn't need your service. Okay, God also does not need man to use his gifts that he has given him. God doesn't need you to use your gifts to serve him. God only, this is important, God only wants people to obey him and submit to his will. So you, John Milton, if you submit to God's will, this is what he needs. Okay? He is a great king. Lots of people are active in his service all the time. So he doesn't need you specifically. Okay? The people who are patient serve him well. So if you want to serve God well, you should be patient. You should accept his will for losing your sight. Again, what does patience say? Patience says that God does not need your services, okay? God also does not need man to use the gift that he gave you. Only God wants people to obey him and submit to his will. That's important. That's how you serve God well. And he's a great king and lots of people are serving him. So if you want to serve him, you should be patient. That's how you serve God well. You should be patient and submit to his will. Okay? Let's see the rhyme scheme of the system. C, D, E, C, D, E. So the whole sonnet's rhyme scheme is A, B, B, A, B, B, A, that's subject, and C, D, E, C, D, E, that's the system. Okay? What are the, and concerning the figures of speech, you can have alliteration here, which is in not, need, his, him, his, their, best, over, and ocean. This is alliteration which you can consider as figures of speech. Okay? And of course, that murmurs soon replies, that's also a personification in which the poet personified patience as a man who can speak. So I hope now you can understand the poem or the sonnet very well, and if you have any question, please contact me. Bye.